Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. So we've got two pieces of news here, one merchandise and then one kind of Avatar Studios related kind of thing that maybe suggests that official news is maybe beginning to be kind of prepared to a certain degree. We'll get into it. So first of all, the merchandise news. So First 4 Figures have released 2 Avatar figures previously. They've done an Aang and a Toph. Now they are opening up pre-orders for a Zuko. So pre-orders are going to open in 11 days. They say here on February 4th, pre-orders will open for this Zuko painted resin statue. You can see the Aang that they did in the background, and like I said, there's also a Toph. So you can see here, it is a Book 3 Zuko design, with both swords out and really cool fire effect parts on it. So that is very nice to see. It's at least a very unique sculpt compared to some of the other ones that we have seen. I do have to say there is a bit of an inconsistency in design choice across all the characters they've done so far, in that it's book 1/2 Aang, but it's book 3 Zuko. So straight away, if you buy all of these, it's not like a consistent group of characters, because the outfit that Aang wears when he interacts with Zuko wearing this outfit is different. And I just don't get why they do it that way, or why they don't in any way think about people wanting a consistent collection when they're basically releasing collector item things, because they're leaning into the more high-end stuff with this. These figures do have multiple versions. I think the core figure is always the same, but the base gets kind of fancier and fancier as you go up in the sort of high-end versions. So there's going to be a basic version on a pretty basic base, then there's a slightly fancier base, and then there's like a mega base that is like doubles the price or something like that, if I remember correctly. We'll cover it when it gets revealed, but just to kind of highlight that, yep, new Zuko figure coming out. Look to First 4 Figures on the 4th of February for the details. Now, let's get into the main piece of news here. So thanks to the Avatarist for finding this, and he was looking at the official Avatar The Last Airbender YouTube channel and noticed that the official username has changed. So it's now at Avatar Legends. Previously it was at Team Avatar, if I remember correctly. But either way, at some point relatively recently, they've changed their username to be Avatar Legends. And that is notable. I don't think this should be viewed as just, oh, they randomly changed their name. Anyway, moving on, this doesn't mean anything. No, I think this actually does mean something, in that, like, the timing of this happening in the first couple of weeks of 2025. We're approaching exactly 1 year to go until Aang The Last Airbender comes out, January 30th, 2026. We're nearly at January 30th this year, 6 days to go. Do I think they're going to do an announcement on that day? I'm not sure. I think it's a pretty low chance, but certainly it feels like they're getting their social media stuff. They're beginning to get it into the right position for them to be able to sort of flick the switch and start marketing. Because that's what needs to happen. Like, if you look at it here, here's the live version of the channel. It is Avatar Legends, as you can see. But it still feels like this is Avatar circa 2012 to 2014, and the kind of gap period since then. It's Avatar and Korra, and that's it. Like, everything else it feels like barely exists. The fact that we've known about Avatar Studios since 2021 doesn't matter to this account. They're not focused on it. Like, none of their recent videos focus on the fact that there's new Avatar stuff really coming out for the most part. The best we've ever got is that they did the video game announcement thing a couple of months back, and that felt like kind of crazy news coming from the channel, because otherwise, consistently, they don't really cover most news. They do a lot of it in the kind of community tab, but recently they haven't really done anything there either. So this needs to change, not just the username, but like the screen name needs to change. We'd be looking for like the kind of logos here, the kind of icons and stuff like that to change, to just better represent Avatar Studios going forward, that this is the channel for Avatar that you know, but also, hey, there's new stuff coming out. Like, how much of the audience actually, of their 3.06 million subscribers, actually knows there's one, a movie coming out. I think a decent amount of people might know that at this point, but how many people know that there's a plan for like so many projects, multiple movies, multiple TV series, animated series, and other stuff coming out? I think it's relatively low because they've not done anything really to keep people up to date over the last couple of years. So them maybe beginning to make some moves in the background to change to become better. And hopefully this is reflected with a lot of the other accounts, like the official Instagram. I think they have an official Facebook. Hopefully that stuff is changing as well, because that is the sort of stuff that needs to evolve along with everything else. We need to see the marketing actually start. That when they finally say something more official about the movie, because they haven't really, like that's still in a borderline, like has it really been officially announced? Like, can I just link someone to something that makes it very clear that this is a movie that's coming out? We haven't really had that yet. This is a movie that has a working title, it has a date, it has some actors attached, but it still doesn't really feel real in a lot of ways because there's been no official talk for the most part about it. So some sort of an early announcement, it feels like we're going to have to get at some point over the next couple of weeks, where they just kind of clarify some stuff like, hey, this movie that's coming out in like just under a year, whatever, it's called this. Here's a logo, here's a poster with an early image or something like that. They have to do that now, because once we hit a year to go, and especially once we hit stuff like, about 9 months to go, it's a movie. They have to begin to market this at some point. At some point, like, we have to be building up to a trailer. And I think we're going to hear about this, at least in little bits and pieces, before we hit like a full-on trailer. Which is why, like, sure, I think we're probably going to be waiting for like most major information until San Diego Comic-Con, but I do think they're going to have to say something somewhere before July and San Diego Comic-Con. Just, that's way too late to start any sort of marketing, given where we're at right now. So, and then add on to that the fact that they don't just have a movie to talk about and market, they also have to like announce a series. Like, they have to announce that Avatar Pavi series at some point. If that's going to be released in any way following up the movie, you've got to like say that you're actually doing that officially at some point soon. And I think that's why Avatar Legends is here, because they have both things to talk about. That when they talk about upcoming Avatar projects, they can't just turn the account into it's the Aang the Last Airbender account and just be 100% movie focused, because there's going to be stuff about the Pavi show, and that's why Avatar Legends is an important tagline to have, because this is your way to officially refer to the overall franchise. Otherwise, we don't really have a name. Like, for the most part, over the last many years, we've just been going with the idea that fans, we all call it the Avatar franchise, but it's officially not that, and it's really never been that. We all know we're always going to call it that, but officially it's basically, it's like the Avatar The Last Airbender franchise, kind of. That's what everyone knows it as, but it's not an effective title because it doesn't represent most of the Avatar universe. So Avatar Legends, I think, works as a title that has Avatar in it and references the fact that the approach for the studio going forward is to cover multiple projects across multiple eras. That is the legends of the overall Avatar franchise, overall Avatar universe. And Korra, Kyoshi, Roku, Pavi coming up next, that sort of thing. That it's all of this stuff, that it is a full-on fictional universe. It's not just one show, and I think they do need to make that clear, and that's where Avatar Legends comes in quite effectively. And I do think this has always been what they've probably wanted the franchise name to be for a while. This is why the RPG, which references all the eras, is called Avatar Legends. It's why the upcoming mobile game, Realms Collide, is under Avatar Legends. It uses all the eras, or is going to use all the eras. But even stuff like, say, one of the books coming out at some point later this year, I think in July, Avatar Legends Bending Academy, the first kids novel we're going to get, that's under Avatar Legends. That's very interesting, and that probably has tipped us off to the fact that I think they really do want to use Avatar Legends. And I do think, say Chronicles of the Avatar, that really should be using Avatar Legends as its logo, probably, like, going forward. but it's just like a kind of thing from the time, basically. So yeah, Avatar Legends makes a ton of sense. I know I see people talk about this with the title of the movie as well as the title of the franchise, and no one really, I think, knows what exactly they want it to be. I think we do want it to just be Avatar, but it can't really be that. We don't want to use The Last Airbender in absolutely everything. So Avatar Legends is functional and I think clean, and we've had it for a while now, and I think people know what it is. And I think in that sense, I think it just works. Another thing that basically probably told us that this is absolutely the direction they were heading in is, if you remember the news from like 2 weeks ago about the basically official project lineup for Avatar Studios from that marketing video that we got, that video was called Avatar Legends. And I know not a lot of people have actually watched the video that it actually came from, but at the end of that video, you're left with this as the kind of splash screen at the end. It's an Avatar Legends logo. It goes from the lineup of the boxes with all the projects to Avatar Legends. That's what they're basically telling licensors about. That, hey, get the Avatar Legends licensed for all this upcoming stuff. It's going to be really, really popular when we finally start talking about it. And this is one of the first times Avatar Legends has been properly attached to like the bigger projects as well, like games and stuff like that. So that's kind of exciting as well. And I think that this is telling. I think Avatar Legends we're going to just see used a lot more around the place. Now, a lot of this is like, say, like, hey, official title for the Aang movie. Is Avatar Legends going to be like part of that? Like, is it going to be Avatar Legends Aang the Last Airbender? Or what? Like, there is still questions like that overall. You know, there is interesting stuff like, say, the official website is the Avatar Studios official website. It's not the Avatar Legends website, but it's basically the same thing. I understand probably not wanting maybe the official social media channels to maybe be the studio, to just kind of separate the people who are just like making the content from the way the marketing is done. So just having official franchise stuff using the franchise name being different than the studio, I do get that to a certain degree, but you know, it's interesting. Now, it's still very much in the category of calm before the storm. This is not absolute confirmation that anything is or isn't going to happen. It's just, hey, this lines up with the timing and stuff like that, but also it's like, did they really just randomly change their name at this specific time for no reason? I find that hard to believe. I think they would only bother with going through the process of doing an @username change, which I think means you basically have to contact YouTube about this. So that would suggest it's probably an important like marketing point officially that they need to get this stuff changed over. But I don't know the specifics on that really. But gonna leave it there before I start kind of repeating myself here. But what are your thoughts on all this stuff? So first of all, first 4 figures, Zuko figure, pre-orders on 4th of February. Your thoughts on a new figure announced, you know, merchandise maybe beginning to get going again as well. It's kind of interesting. And then the more notable news. The official YouTube channel changing its username from Team Avatar to Avatar Legends. So Avatar Legends jumping into the spotlight a little bit more when it's mostly been a kind of side project thing. It's mostly been something that gets attached to the games or the RPGs. Now, the official 3+ million subscriber YouTube channel is using Avatar Legends. They definitely have plans for that titling kind of system. So let me know in the comments below. But that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.